This video shows you how to use the Airway Secretions feature of METIman Nursing. Here's what you'll need. The 60 milliliter syringe with Luer lock extension set from METIman's inventory kit, distilled water, some towels, silicone lubricant from METIman's inventory kit, a number 6 tracheal tube, a 14 French suction catheter, suction tubing and canister, a bucket for wastewater, and food coloring. The Airway secretion system is filled through the Airway fill port in METIman Nursing's left shoulder. Remove the cap from the port and set it aside. Connect the Luer lock extension set to the port. Connect an empty 60 milliliter syringe to the Luer lock extension set. Aspirate all the fluid or air from the Airway fill port until no more can be withdrawn. Disconnect the syringe and empty it if necessary. Using the same 60 milliliter syringe, draw up 40 milliliters of clear distilled water or distilled water mixed with food coloring to simulate a bodily fluid. Connect the syringe to the Luer lock extension set. Slowly inject all 40 milliliters of fluid into the Airway fill port. Disconnect the Luer lock extension set and syringe from the port. Put the cap back on the port. Following institutional protocol, have a number 6 tracheal tube already in place on the simulator. Prepare a 14 French suction catheter by lubricating the end to be inserted with silicone spray. Then insert the catheter into the tracheal tube until you encounter resistance at the bifurcation. Apply suction and withdraw the suction catheter. The minimum effective pressure is 30 milliliters of mercury. Fluid can be suctioned over a distance of approximately 4 centimeters distal to the bifurcation. To drain the Airway secretions reservoir, remove the cap from the Airway fill port and set it aside. Connect a Luer lock extension set to the Airway fill port. Connect an empty 60 milliliter syringe to the Luer lock extension set. Then aspirate fluid until the reservoir is empty. Disconnect the syringe from the Luer lock extension set and empty it. If you used colored distilled water to simulate Airway secretions, you'll need to flush the Airway secretions reservoir by drawing up 40 milliliters of clear distilled water. Connect the syringe to the Luer lock extension set. Inject all 40 milliliters of distilled water into the port. Without disconnecting the syringe, aspirate fluid through the Airway fill port again until the reservoir is empty. Inject and aspirate clear distilled water until the aspirated fluid is clear. Empty the syringe after each aspiration. Disconnect the Luer lock extension set, then put the cap back on the port. This video showed you how to use the Airway secretions feature of METIman Nursing. If you need more information, please consult the METIman user guide or call CAE Healthcare customer service at 1-866-462-7920 or at one of our international numbers if appropriate. If you found this video helpful and would like to see more, visit our website at www.caehealthcare.com.